Welcome to Digital Dialogue. We're your hosts, Caitlin McKee
and Lauren Brown.
And we have Wes Harris with us today, who is our fearless leader.
All right. I'm excited.
So what are we talking about today?
We're talking about accessibility, specifically Camtasia and
Yes.
accessibility.
Right.
Yes.
Good job, you read our email.
Yes.
Starting off well. Love it. Before we jump into that, next week is Thanksgiving.
Oh.
So,
Okay.
what is your favorite Thanksgiving food?
So my favorite Thanksgiving food is actually the day after Thanksgiving.
Oh.
Where I take the leftover ham and I make a sandwich with spicy mustard. Let me tell you, it's good. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I could see that. I don't like mustard, but...
But my mother-in-law
ham.
makes the best dressing, chicken and dressing. And she usually has to make a lot of it to try to have leftovers, and then we never have leftovers. You know?
Yeah.
It's one of those, yeah. So those are probably my two favorite.
Yeah.
My grandmother's chicken and dressing is mine.
That's good.
I'm such a sides person when it comes to dinner. So just all of the sides. I really love cranberries. So cranberry sauce goes over everything pretty much. I
Yeah.
love cranberry
That stuff
sauce.
always just looks so weird to me.
To me, it's not a meal without the meat. You know what I'm saying?
Really? Okay.
Yeah, like I gotta have the protein. You know?
Oh, okay. See, I
Yeah.
could very happily
No.
have many meals without
No.
meat.
Same.
Yeah.
Can't do that.
That's why that keto diet, never in my life. I could not do it.
No.
My best friend does it, and I'm like, I can't. It's gotta just be it's a heavy diet.
Yes.
I couldn't do it.
Yeah. I don't love meat that much.
I don't really know anything about the keto diet.
It's not.
so-
It's not a good
It's
one.
like protein, no sugar,
Yeah.
I think.
no carbs.
Do you
yeah.
know what type of people do a lot of diets?
What type of people do a lot of
Professional
diet?
golfers.
Oh my
I
god.
wanted an
I
opportunity
said
to talk.
no.
I mean, I thought we might talk a little golf at the beginning here. You know,
No, go ahead. You're the guest.
Do it. Go. We'll
you
be
know,
here listening
I'm just
intently.
playing. I'm just playing.
What kind of diets do they go on, Wes?
Well, there's actually you can Phil Mickelson, lefty is his name. He has this coffee recipe, and he sells coffee. He has his own little side company.
Really?
Yeah, and so it's kind of like a.
What's it called?
It's kind of like one of those power smoothie, but it's coffee based kind of thing, you know. Would you, if you can go follow him on Twitter
Okay.
and learn about it there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I won't be doing that, but
Okay. Well, I assumed.
I don't know. I might tell George about it because he likes Phil Mickelson and he likes coffee.
Yeah. It's like a protein shake, but it's coffee based, so it's kind of.
I don't think he'd like that though.
have you
Yeah.
heard of that bulletproof coffee though? That's coffee, and you're supposed to add coconut oil, or some people add butter to it.
Ooh.
And then there's additional things that you put in there, and you can drink it in the morning and be totally fine until way after lunch because it just sustains you that long. I
Really?
guess I've never tried it or had it or anything.
Butter?
Have y'all ever had coffee and chicory?
Yes.
No.
Oh,
Yes,
it's so good.
it is very
It's so
good.
good. It comes from this root, and I guess they grind it up. I don't
Yeah.
know. But I know Cafe Du Monde in New Orleans.
Ooh,
you know
yes.
they do the chicory stuff, but we get their K cups.
Oh, really?
And that's the coffee we drink, and it is so good.
I dream about beignet from Cafe Du Monde.
Yeah, I made some this past weekend, and Carmen was pretty jealous because she can't drink coffee right now. You know,
Yeah.
my wife, she's pregnant, so
That's
she-
really
yeah.
mean of you.
Well, I didn't know, because I don't drink coffee every day, and so this is the first time I have coffee in 3 or 4 months. And
Are you
so,
serious?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
And so I made some, and then she, the aroma was, going through the house, and she was a little sad about that.
So our office is really excited for Baby Harris.
Baby Harris.
Yes,
March.
Yes.
2022. Ready? So ready.
I know.
Wes
Carmen
is-
said the day after she wants a turkey sandwich from Jersey Mike's, and she wants a Diet Coke
Oh,
because she hasn't had any of those in months. So
Yeah.
No turkey because is that deli meat?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it has that with listeria stuff.
Yeah.
You're supposed to stay away from.
Yeah.
So, and Jersey Mike's is where it's at on sandwiches.
I don't think I've ever been there.
Oh my gosh, it's so good. So
Wait,
good.
is that the one on Jordan?
I don't know. There may be one there. We usually go to the one on Madison Boulevard. And there's also one on 72, like kind of across from the big Target.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't know if I've been there.
yeah.
Do you know what I miss?
What?
And they're just not around that much anymore. Is like a Quiznos.
Yes.
I love Quiznos.
Gosh, I miss Quiznos. Because I think there was one in Huntsville that was still open.
Yes.
And it closed recently. I
No,
think.
it
That's what I heard.
That makes me so sad.
Yeah, it was over there by like
The
Mountain
new-
High.
yeah.
Yeah, that one closed.
Man.
Yeah.
That's like the last one that was around here.
Yeah.
We used to go to Quiznos like every Sunday after church.
We did too.
No way.
We did too. Yeah,
one in
I had like a
Athens.
group of friends. We would go like all the time on Sundays.
Oh.
After church. Yeah.
LOL, I went with my mom and grandma.
Yeah, they had that California club with the guacamole on it.
I just liked their Caesar salads with the flatbread.
I never had that.
They were really good. And
Yeah.
I just like their ham and cheese and their
They're
like
Italian with all like the Italian meats and stuff like
Yes.
that.
Have y'all had Mama G's before? Mama Goldberg's?
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe like once.
It's close. it comes close to Quiznos.
Okay.
It's really good.
Yeah,
Didn't
it's really
you tell
good.
me they closed down?
I think the one in Huntsville did.
Okay, yeah.
There's still one in Muscle Shoals, I think. And like in Birmingham and
Okay.
and further south. So they're good.
Well, now that we're all starving,
Yeah, I'm ready for lunch. How about you guys?
and it's what, 10?
Not even.
Not even. So, Wes, today we brought you on because we wanted you to talk about captioning, specifically in Camtasia, which is a TechSmith product. So, before we do that, though, tell everyone what your role is at the college and kind of tell us what a typical day looks like for you.
Yeah, so I am the director of distance learning here at Calhoun. Our office does a lot of different things, which the two of you are kind of involved in different areas of the office. So, but we manage and support Blackboard and other related applications to that. We provide instructional design support for faculty. We provide support for students. We ensure the quality of our online courses, online and hybrid courses. So we're involved in a lot of different areas. And the thing that I really love about my job is that every day is a little different. And so, there's days where I'm kind of dabbling in all of those areas, and there's days where I'm really just, in one of those areas. And so not every day is the same. And I really kind of enjoy that. I really enjoy like the administrative pieces of my job too, like the budget. I know that sounds weird, but I enjoy that kind of stuff.
Well, that's good.
And and
Glad you do.
Contracts and purchasing, we have to do all that kind of stuff. So my day, it can look very different. Some days I might be helping a student, might be helping a faculty member, I might be working on a report, I might be working on a new initiative at the college, trying to communicate, across the college, some changes that might be coming up, that kind of thing. We've got a lot of changes coming up, so we've been working on that lately. So, so that's kind of my world.
That's awesome. And that's kind of how our whole department is. We don't have the same things every day, and that is what kind of makes it fun.
Yeah. Well, and we get to collaborate on things, with each other. So even though, Caitlin, you mostly work with students, and Lauren, you mostly work with faculty, y'all also get to work on a lot of projects together. And,
Like a podcast.
Yeah. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about Camtasia.
So Camtasia is, like you said, it's a TechSmith product, and it's really it's a video editing software, recording software, editing software. But the big thing about Camtasia is that it's really easy to use. I've used things like Premiere, Adobe Premiere,
Yes.
and they're great. You can do a lot of things in there. Obviously, that's what a lot of the pros use. But Camtasia is one of those that you really don't have to have a lot of advanced skills to use. It's really simple to use, and especially if you're just doing like some more basic things in there. Maybe combining a couple different videos together or that kind of thing. But you can do some more advanced things in there. And the one of the main reasons I like Camtasia is the level of engagement you can add to your videos. So one of the things that I really love is like the annotations that you can add. So like if you want to put some like a word bubble on the screen, you can do that with some words, or maybe it's a screen capture and you're showing them how to do something, on a computer. You can have it like highlight your mouse and even like make a sound when you right click or left click and that kind of thing. So it really kind of adds that engagement level for faculty, for students. And that's the thing, we've got students that are taking online classes, and if they're having to watch hours of video, it can get a little humdrum sometimes.
Yeah.
And so the more engagement you can add, the more those students are going to really pay attention and learn the content and learn that information.
So, creating accessible media can be a process. What can Camtasia do to help with that?
So Lauren and I were actually discussing this recently. And
Without me?
Yes.
Rude.
I know. But so, when we talk about accessibility, I kind of think of it on a couple, two different levels. And the first level is more for specific students. Okay. So, if we have students that have, disabilities and we need to provide some type of accommodation, we need to make that content accessible for those students. So, that may be a transcript, that may be closed captions, that type of thing. And the second level it encompasses the first level, okay? But it's kind of making content or media where viewers can really ingest that information based on their preference, So whether, I want to read the information, I want to hear the information, I want to see, something in a video, I want to use it, but, by answering a question or completing an assignment, however I need to process that information, it's available in that format. And so I kind of think of those two different levels, and I really think that Camtasia does a really good job at kind of meeting that second level overall, where it provides a level of engagement for viewers to really engage with that content. Like we talked about the annotations earlier. If I'm just watching a video of someone that's in a classroom or they're in an office or something like that, I mean, yeah, it may have all the necessary pieces of information there, but if that video includes like keywords that keep popping up on the screen as I'm talking, I'm going to start paying attention to those keywords.
Absolutely.
And start, writing that information down. And so while that may not be necessary to meet an accommodation, that is necessary to engage the viewers that are watching that video.
Well, and it all goes back to universal design.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also the theme of this particular month or this particular part of season 1, which is learning styles. Mm-hmm. So it sounds like there's a lot of different ways within Camtasia to accommodate different learning styles.
Or strategies.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I'll give you an example. So I also teach as an adjunct. I teach history and religion. And a couple years ago, I had created some videos for my course, for one of my units, put them out there. And then I did a survey after the unit because I just wanted some feedback on a few things from, that course. And I had several students comment on the videos and how much they liked certain ones. And because I had two different kind of types of video in there. I had some videos that were, I had like a PowerPoint and it was just a screen capture with my audio. And then I had some videos where it was just me in my office and I had like those keywords kind of popping up. And then, I had some like quotes that I read. And so I would kind of fade into the quote and then fade back to, the video of me in my office. And I had several students mention like how much they loved those videos. But that doesn't mean that those other videos were not good and that the students didn't learn from those as well. But providing that information in those different methods, I think really helps students grasp the content. It's not the same thing just over and over and over. It's providing information in different pathways to really spark their interest.
Mm-hmm. That's such a big pro that you get to teach as well, and just have those opportunities to see those things firsthand and bring them back where, we can take that information and figure out ways to accommodate those things.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think that's, teaching is definitely one of my passions. And so, and it helps me do my job in distance learning better because I I come in contact with our students, and I engage with our students just like our instructors do. And so I think that helps me have some good perspective.
So Camtasia is a paid product, and we are really trying in this podcast to make sure that we're also telling people about cheaper options or free options or other things like that, just to keep it. We're hoping that it's people beyond Calhoun, going to get some benefit from this as well. So where else can I caption my videos?
Yeah, so, I think most colleges will have a lecture capture, video management solution, some type of platform. So like here at Calhoun, we use TextSmithNomia, and that's something that our college pays for. Our instructors do not have to pay, anything to use that. I know other schools use. There's a lot of different platforms out there that other schools use. So most faculty will have access to something through their college. But there's also, YouTube honestly is one of the better products out there that doesn't cost a thing. And YouTube's captioner is pretty good overall. It may not be the best one out there, but it's pretty good. And you can go in and edit captions after, it kind of auto generates your captions. And I would always encourage you to at least look through those and kind of clear things up. And I'll be honest with you, you are able to add captions in Camtasia, but I really prefer using an automatic speech captioner. I think they call them ASRs, automatic speech recognition. And Camtasia does not have that built into it. Now you can upload a file, you can manually add captions to a video, but what I do when I'm creating videos is I'll make my video in Camtasia and I'll add all those levels of engagement that I want, and then I'll load it to TextSmithNomia and allow Nomia to create those captions for me and generate those captions for me. But once I have those generated in Nomia, I have access to that caption file that I can, wherever I take that video, if I load it to YouTube or I put it, back in Camtasia, I can upload that file and have those captions available on that video.
Yeah, for the podcast, we use the automatic captioning on YouTube. Mm-hmm.
It's pretty good, yeah. And no automatic captioning is going to be perfect. Yeah. They've really made a lot of improvements in the past few years, and I think that goes, when you're talking about, you think about things like Siri or Alexa, where it's recognizing your voice and what you're saying, and those have really come a long way in the past few years, and the same thing goes for captioners because it's using very similar type technology. And so I know, at one point when we were using Nomia, I think it was about 80% accurate. And they made some updates a couple years ago, and now they're getting 90 to 94% accuracy on captions. But the most important thing when it comes to captioning is making sure you have good audio. And so that really plays a lot into how accurate your captions are. If you don't have a good microphone where you're getting very clear audio, it's really going to hurt the quality of your captions.
Yeah, that's a good point. I also heard, this was seriously 5 years ago now, so this may be a moot point now, but I was in a seminar once that said your phone is actually the best transcriber because it is used to your voice. So the AI in your Siri is learning your voice. So if for some reason YouTube isn't available and you don't have access to something like Camtasia or TextSmithNomia, you can open up the Notepad app on your phone and click transcribe, and then you'll have to edit those, but you have your transcript written out for you.
Absolutely, yeah. There's a lot of technology like that where it will learn your voice. There's even some platforms have a dictionary where you can enter words that are maybe not so common, and that way, when you say those words, it kind of picks them up from your dictionary.
That would be really cool.
And so yeah,
especially for us in the South.
Yeah, absolutely. We throw a few more syllables in there sometimes.
Sometimes.
So, yeah.
What is the most common red flag you've seen in an online course?
When we're talking about accessibility, I think one of the big ones for me is just ease of navigation. some of the most common issues we have are things like alt tags, or maybe, a document doesn't use like, the headings and that kind of thing. Those are the most common things, but usually those are pretty easy to fix. The ease of navigation, I think, is a little bit of a bigger issue, but it's usually a bigger issue in our instructors that are newer to like online learning. I think our more senior faculty, usually they've learned over the years really how to design their course to be easy to navigate by students. And so they've spent a lot of time because they've learned, they've done it the wrong way one semester and realized, okay, I'm not going to do that anymore, that kind of thing.
You want to take a sidetrack and talk a little bit about our C&E?
Yeah,
Because
absolutely, we can.
We've mentioned it on the podcast before, but I think you might have some valuable things to say about it.
Yeah, so here at Calhoun, we have we call it a consistent navigation experience, or C&E. And that's just a consistent course menu. So we're a Blackboard school, so it's a consistent course menu and a consistency in the information provided on our course information page. What that does is that allows students to not have to learn 4 or 5 different ways to navigate a course. So if they take an English course and they take a business course, there should be some similarities in that course menu and where they can find information for that course. If they need to find their syllabus, for example, whether they're in an English class or a business class, they should be able to find that under course information. Or who their instructor is, they can find that under course information.
Yeah.
And so that's really done a lot for us.
It really has.
Yeah.
Wes and I are really lucky because we get to maintain our relationship with students. And, the C&E came out basically from students telling us that they spent the first week of their class hunting down all the information.
It's not that any one design was not good. It was just that they were not consistent.
Exactly.
So if I learn how to navigate this, C&E here at Calhoun, I should be able to navigate any course at Calhoun. Whereas before, it was you might have 5 different types of design for a semester if they're taking 5 classes, and so
and they all, like you said, good designs.
yes.
It's just that they're so different.
And so that consistency really, really does speak to that ease of navigation. I think that a lot of times in our own mind, we have something structured and we know where things are and we know it's organized. So, and I will give you all a perfect example, okay?
Okay.
So if you go and look at my desk right now, the two of you would probably be like, oh my gosh, what is Wes doing? He doesn't know where anything is. But I promise you, I know exactly where everything is in that office, okay? And if you ask for something, it might take me 2 seconds, but I'm going to know, oh yeah, the last time I saw it, it was right here on this corner of my desk, okay? And I think sometimes we approach our online class that way, as in like we know where everything is and we know how it's organized. But when students come into that environment, they may not. And so, and that's where we really have to be very, we have to come at it from the perspective of students and where are they going to find information and how are they going to think about it and how are they going to navigate. And then we find the best way to organize our materials where students can access them.
And in distance learning, it's so important to stay student focused. I think that's a big thing our office really tries to keep in the front of our minds and do is think of the
Absolutely.
students first.
Well, that's why we're here, That's,
Exactly, yeah.
That's what we're here for, is the student.
What is one thing instructors could do to improve the accessibility and or the design of their course?
One of the things that I think we need to be in the habit of on the instruction side is creating information in multiple formats. And especially, and I know that can be an overwhelming task for instructors. If I create a lecture video, that may be all the time I have this semester to focus on this topic, And so I know that can be a little overwhelming, but I think if you start with your topics that students typically maybe struggle with more or have a harder time, grasping, and just provide that information in more than one format, I think that really speaks to accessibility. So, because, if a student's able to watch a video, another student may prefer to read that information. And if they have a transcript of the video, that may be all that they need, But if we can provide, multiple avenues where students can learn the same information, and it may be that some of our students, it takes a few times. Repetition is not a bad thing, but it especially helps if we provide that repetition in different formats. Because it may be that, I'm watching a video and I don't pick up on something, but if I go back and I'm like, I need to look at that transcript, I don't have time to watch the video. Let me just kind of, I might pick up on something that I missed in the video that's important for, that topic or that class.
Yeah, I like what you said about getting the worst stuff out of the way first. There's an instructor here. She told me once for her CIS 146 class, she always teaches access first. Because, you have momentum at the beginning of the semester. We get access out of the way, and that way, at the end of the semester, we're doing Word, which everybody uses.
Yeah.
And I love that. I think that's a great way to structure that course. Okay, so that's all our main questions, but we wanted to give you an opportunity if you have any tips or tricks that you want to share with faculty.
So I think, when it comes to accessibility, it is a mountain to climb. There is just, so many things. I feel like, I read things every day and it's just like more things we need to be doing and adding to our classes and all this kind of stuff. So I think the first tip is just don't get overwhelmed by it. And use your resources. As faculty, you should have access, hopefully, to an instructional designer, but you also have your fellow faculty members, So if you're working on improving the accessibility in your course, make those improvements and then have an ID review those, or have a fellow faculty member take a look. And, that feedback is a good thing to have. And that's kind of, that's the educational environment. We're focused on continuous improvement, and, just because we review something this year and make some changes doesn't mean that's the final changes we need to make. I know in distance learning, we have projects that we have to update every year just because there may be updates, but there's also we found a better way to do something.
Yeah.
And so I think, faculty need to know that they're not alone in this and that they need to use their resources around them in that educational environment. And I think that's really the best thing I think they can do in this is I've spoken to faculty before that, when it comes to, maybe it's like they're updating their PowerPoints or they're adding closed captions and they get really overwhelmed by it all.
Yeah.
Some don't, but some do. And I think it's important that, we support those faculty, but that they also, they start using those resources and really kind of make some progress in those areas.
And use your resources is something we reiterate to students all the time. And I don't think we say it to faculty enough.
Yeah.
Because we're constantly telling students, use these resources. They're free resources. They're here for you. But faculty have a ton of free resources that are here for them as well.
Absolutely.
And hopefully one of them is digital dialogue. Yeah. Shameless plug.
Shameless.
For today's Tech Corner, we will be... What am I supposed to say?
Do it. So for today's Tech Corner, Lauren's going to tell us about YouTube captioning.
Okay, are you ready?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. For today's Tech Corner, Lauren will be telling us about YouTube captioning. Lauren?
Thanks, Caitlin. Wow. I don't know what happened to your voice, but...
That was good.
That was a good one.
It's back to normal now.
Thank goodness. May need to get that checked out.
Guys, I may be on NPR next year. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so for this week's Tech Corner, we're just going to kind of expand upon what Wes and Caitlin were talking about during the interview, which is captioning in YouTube. So there are different ways to add in subtitles and captions within YouTube. You can upload a separate file. You can type them in manually. You can type them in while the video is playing. And of course, it can do it automatically for you as well. So we will be adding some information about that down below in the description box. Make sure to click on that and read through the different methods of adding subtitles and captions to your videos. Also, don't forget to email us at digitaldialogue@calhoun.edu. And also, our SpeakPipe link is in the description box below. So click on that, leave us a voicemail, and maybe your question, comment, concern, suggestion will end up in a future episode.
Thank you for listening to Digital Dialogue, a Calhoun Community College podcast.
Bye.
Bye.